Okay, going to Solaris. It's a parallel Earth, or I guess yeah, there's an Earth that's called that. Um, this is also based on a movie, but I'm going to use my own interpretation of it. It's basically a scientist uh, goes to the space station. It's orbiting a planet, and is wondering is going to investigate why the crew went insane. So there's different versions of that. One is like this all parallel Earth is what I'm saying, or maybe they couldn't handle it or something like that. Of course, there's different interpretations of that. Telling me, I mean, with this world, live on this version of Earth, like, God, just what were we thinking? um, Also connected to 2001 Space Odyssey frequency. It's one with HAL, and it's also the monolith energies. So tap into that, just something a little bit different. Yeah, so it's all space. Doesn't mean it's alien, just it's all space. Something different. Kind of running out of things to connect to. So, all right. All right, so I'm talking on private sessions. All right, schedule. We have a shop here. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're going to just do a short channeling. All right, going to yeah, Solaris energies. Yeah, it's stuff in the 1970s. Pretty fascinating. I don't remember. I don't think I've seen that movie though. It's kind of boring, but I'm glad I was reminded of it. So, but either way, it's like a parallel Earth frequency, and just whatever it needs to say about our little paradise we have here. So, all right, blessings. Here you go. Greens is the Solaris parallel Earth frequency. The thing about yes, all these parallel Earths going on at once, and you can say here in the physical, some of those of you that are spiritually aware actually sometimes feel you've have connected to these realms or these parallel Earths that actually feel like you're elevated at a higher level, but you still need to be here at the low frequency Earth. Let's put it that way. Because the low frequency Earth needs you, but you do go to the parallel realities where it is a lot lighter, but not perfect, but a lot less dense than this one. But this one's needed. So much of these memories are not remembered. So you can call it, yeah, the Solaris Earth is another way of looking at it. There are definitely many planets with that title, but other versions of Earth for sure. But usually they just call it Earth, but you can call it Solaris or just for something different. It's basically, it's like you go somewhere to feel, bliss, or yes, there's a party there, or whatever it might be. It's like you're living the life that you really want, and you come back to this world and you're living the opposite of it. Yeah, it's a rough one, but it's necessary. Well, it's because so many souls have put themselves in a corner, locked themselves down. And so you're here to turn things around, but it's kind of like being a time traveler, but it's just from another version of Earth, basically. So yeah, remembering those, of course, those realities can be quite traumatic because it's such a different frequency compared to what you're doing on this one. Well, because this is the mud world, the soup world. This is the one that's is because society here is not wanting to change, or if it feels everything is fine just the way it is. And obviously, those of you that are evolving see a different frequency. It's like, why do you have to keep punching yourself all the time? Well, because obviously some of them need it. Well, A lot of the souls here obviously do the same thing over and over again, and they don't have to, but they do it anyway. And there's only so much you can do with that. But it doesn't mean it has to stop your growth, and it doesn't. But it does test your growth. So you wonder why you're here. It does test your belief systems within yourself, your self-love. It tests your, do you feel anything for yourself? So it does work. You do a lot of inner work here. Yes, you might be, 10, 20 years or 1,000 years in the future, spiritually wise. But here, you're kind of strengthening yourself on so many different levels. Because there's so many here that can lower your frequency or just remove you from the planet altogether because it's so backward here. So, and it does get kind of repetitive because there's so many souls on a repetitive timeline. It just, it's not necessarily funny. It is, it's just what many have just gotten used to it. Like all the conspiracy theory energies, it's always the villain of the week. And they're always complaining, and there's nothing ever changes, and then they complain even more. And it's like they keep digging themselves a hole and bury themselves many times. But also, once again, with the alien energies, of course, those are galactic. Even galactic ambassadors come here and manipulate society because they can, because they know it's like they get a one-shot deal, and they come here to manipulate society. What for? Ego purposes, the dark side of themselves. Doesn't mean it's always intended to do that, but they see what kind of power they can gain here. It's like you might have had one plan before you incarnate, but then they start doing something else when they get here because they have power over the people, and then they're obsessed with it. It's like they don't want to be worshipped. You'd be surprised how many souls come here with a lot of power and here to help evolve society, but end up wanting to be worshipped. It's an ongoing battle, you can say. So it is. This is the backwards Earth. It is the aliens beings that are manipulating here are obviously going that way themselves. They don't want to evolve, so they keep humanity from evolving. And obviously, humanity is not interested anyway to evolve, or you don't even know what that even means. It's just the drama, the chaos they get addicted to. And this is just the way it should be. So it's like a storm of living in reverse, you can say. It's like a storm cloud around society. It's just wanting to, not everybody's like that, but quite a few. Well, they just live off of drama, and they're just not really ready to kind of step up, not always meant to either, because once they create that contract, they're just in a tornado of nowhere. And even if it doesn't really accomplish anything, it doesn't really matter. That's what it's supposed to accomplish. Maybe it's supposed to accomplish nothing. So it's just, there's always something they get out of it. But once again, some can't get out of their own fear. So they keep, wherever they can find fear, they grab it. So it's some can't just let go of those negative timelines. So it's something to think about. So. Greetings. This is a 2001 Space Odyssey frequency. There are space entities, beings that, give you a glimpse of your future or a version of the future, artificial intelligence, but also of the unknown. But also it goes back into your evolution. It's like, what was the point of it all? It's like, why? And some of you do go time travel to your old self to actually do self-repair. So you can let go of this Earth's timeline so you can go off to other places. But there's so many souls that are stuck here. It was because they know they can get a lot out of it. But then when they're stuck in this whirlwind of frequency, they can cancel out their lessons and continue to do the same thing over and over again. But the idea also is for wonderment. You want to see what's outside of this reality. It's like, are you done with all the chaos here, and you want to see what else is out there? And that's why many of you are doing the spiritual, developments, because there's something else out there. There's another canvas out there, and this one's just a piece that just is obsessed with just holding on to souls for dear life. Well, it gives the planet some purpose. But eventually, society will find something else to do. But it's not quite at that level. But yeah, it's like a storm. It's like the planet's energy is like a storm that's constantly flowing. At least the low vibration storm. And of course, entities get pulled into it all the time. But because they find a dark side within themselves that they didn't know it was there, so they get pulled in here, and they can be on. Yeah, they can be here for eons. So it's like when you assist this planet, you just kind of have to be careful. Am I going to get pulled into that? It's like what? It's like you find your candy obsession or whatever it is, and or food obsession or whatever it is, yeah, whatever vices that this world offers, and you just get pulled into it, and it's like almost impossible to get out. Almost like the Grand Canyon of lost worlds. And this is not the only one. There are some. And Jupiter has some of those frequencies too. Of course, you might not remember. But so there are worlds that just have a lot of knowledge, like once again, like this one. But this is more low frequency knowledge. Other worlds have higher frequency knowledge. And you just keep incarnating there. It's like you have all this knowledge, but it's like, do you even know yourself after that? You might be connected to future realities and all these, what do you call free energies and all of this. But do you know who you are? So that's why a world like this is like, okay, we clear out all the clutter, and I got to go into myself now. It's like taking a diving board to figure out who you are, because all these alien realities can disconnect you from who you are, depending on what it is and how you go about it. So it's just a soul growth on so many different levels. And so this world does have a purpose. It's just, it's unlocking what you can't get rid of in other realities that you try. Yeah, higher frequencies it's helpful, but it's like being high on cocaine. It can't get you, you can only go so far. That's the same thing with the higher frequency realities. But some of you are time travel frequencies that come here to assist this world. But yeah, it is difficult because there's so many hard-headed beings here that just don't want to have no interest in evolving, or just evolve at such a slow pace. It feels like you're getting nowhere. You actually are getting somewhere, just at your pace. You're going 100 miles an hour. Some of them are going 0 miles an hour, or maybe 1 mile an hour if you're lucky. So there is growth here. It's hard to see it. It's like it's almost like you need a magnifying glass sometimes for certain individuals. Some, like they quit smoking or some kind of addiction, and they evolve. Doesn't mean that they have to find Jesus, but they find some kind of other side of themselves. Of course, others do find occult energies, and then they get pulled into another manipulation, one manipulation from another. But that's why they get stuck here for a while. You wonder why these cults are here. It's like, I thought you're done with this world. Oh, think again. And so the story continues. So just to give you some understanding of how this world works. Well, this world's it's like a record player. It's always playing a different song. And it's like it's a hypnotic, but you don't have to fall for it, but many do, because they find a flaw within themselves that they have to heal, and then they just get pulled here. It's like they get pulled here, and yes, you can find the cure in 1 day or 100 days or 1,000 days. So it's not really a right or wrong for it. You'd be surprised how many get pulled here. It's like you have alien groups like, you're here one day, then you're gone the next, but you somehow are exploring Earth's energy or whatever it might be. And it's like your soul growth or your soul connections needed you here to figure out yourself in some form or another. So, and of course, in the physical level, it's not going to make any sense, but your higher level will say, it makes sense. And if you have to do it 100 times, so be it. Or 1,000 times, doesn't really matter. We'll send in help to maybe try to get you from doing it for 1,000 times, but if you don't listen to them, there's not much we can do about it. So there's that. Imagine some of you have those conversations with yourself. It's like, how many times have I done this stupid thing? So it's just another way of looking at your incarnation. Well, that's what those that get married to the same type of people over and over again. Sometimes they have the same type of parents over and over again. But then again, having the same type of parent energy sometimes it is to help you evolve, and sometimes they're to help you devolve. Well, because they want the luxury incarnation, and you find the luxury isn't what it's cracked up to be. So you have to go through the difficult incarnations to discover yourself again, because you get pulled into all the material parts of this reality, which the material ends that some of you see can be quite deceiving. A lot of your religious figures are connected to it, and a lot of them are not going to get out of here anytime soon. Yeah, they need a jet, they need all the nice clothes, and they're probably going to be stuck here for a very long time. Well, if they're going to incarnate here and be here for another 1,000 or 20,000 years, as long as they look good, right? If they're saying the same jargon over and over again, it doesn't really matter. So